Court is back in session with the court's special review docket. We have 4 cases. First case is cause number 325860. Second case is cause number 3225862. Third case is cause number 327028. And the fourth case is cause number 327196-1. All 4 cases are styled the state of Texas versus Tyler Anthony Douglas. We have Mr. Tyler Anthony Douglas, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Douglas, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Douglas, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, Mr. Douglas, could you please get the bailiff to come in and take your mic off of mute? Which one?
Okay, there it goes.
Okay.
I said, yes, sir.
Okay, so you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may put your hand down. Now, Mr. Douglas, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Douglas, I have before me a document that has been filed in cause number 325860.
Yes, sir.
In this case, Mr. Douglas, the information that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office alleges that on or about February 23rd of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault family violence. Mr. Douglas, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Douglas, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, Mr. Douglas, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Douglas, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, which is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. On page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials TD that are on a line next to a box that's checked NOLA contingere, which means no contest. Mr. Douglas, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Douglas, there's a signature above the line that is on the 3rd page above the line that is titled Defendant. Did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, Mr. Douglas, I have before me a document. And on this document, above the line that is titled Defendant, there is also a signature. Mr. Douglas, did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Douglas, at the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And the second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Douglas, I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. At the bottom of this document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defender. Did you also sign the discovery certification?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Douglas, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I have just mentioned to you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Douglas, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2. Would you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2?
State offers 1 and 2, Your Honor.
Okay.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Rojas, you've advised and counseled Mr. Douglas. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Douglas, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Douglas, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your pleas and waivers are freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor. It's 60 days.
And does he get credit for time served, 60 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Douglas, the state is offering that you serve 60 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 60 days. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case, Mr. Douglas, is $327, but you would not have to pay that because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court cost will be taxed and retired. Mr. Douglas, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you believe that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Douglas, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Douglas, because this is a family assault, family violence case, pursuant to the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you or warns you of the following. Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code, Section 46.013, A, firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or carry-over firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of any antique or carry-over firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrate's Order for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, Unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, Unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective orders. Now, Mr. Douglas, you'll be given a copy of this ammunition at the jail. Now, Mr. Douglas, we will move on to your next case. And your next case, Mr. Douglas, is cause number 327. 196-1. And in this case, Mr. Douglas, I have before me an information. And this information alleges that this information alleges that on or about February 23rd of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of possession of dangerous drugs. Mr. Douglas, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Douglas, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Douglas, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. And on page 2 of this document, Mr. Douglas, there are a set of initials, TD, that are on a line next to a box that is checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Mr. Douglas, did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
I have another document before me, Mr. Douglas, that is titled Trial Court Certification to Defendant's Right of Appeal. At the bottom of this document, Mr. Douglas, there's a signature that's titled, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Mr. Douglas, did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this same document, Mr. Douglas, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Douglas, I also have before me a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. At the bottom of this document, above the line that is titled Defendant, there's a signature. Did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Douglas, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your ability?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me States Exhibit 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and you like to offer States 1 and 2?
States 1 and 2, Your Honor.
No
Yep.
objection, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Rojas, do you waive a record in both of Mr. Douglas's cases?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Rojas, you've advised and counseled Mr. Douglas. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Douglas, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Douglas, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I'll also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
60 days.
Okay, and he's given credit for time served, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Douglas, the state is offering that you serve 60 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you would not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 60 days, therefore you'll be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case, Mr. Douglas, is $327, but you will not have to pay the court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Douglas, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The court is going to follow the pre-bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Ms. Nelson, cause numbers 325856 and cause number 327028 Will the state be dismissing those cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Douglas, your other two cases, cause number 325-862 and cause number 327-028, will be dismissed. So, Mr. Douglas, all four of your cases are disposed of. This will conclude your cases, Mr. Douglas. You can follow the bailiff. If you do not have anything else holding you in, you should be getting out today. And Mr. Rojas, I think we have one other case. Now, Mr. Douglas, please knock on that door and get the bailiff. And and you're free to go. You have a blessed day.
All right, thank you. Thank you guys for all your help. Have a good day.
We need Edith Romero.
Romero.
Mute your video. Shut off your video.
The court is in session.
I'm
In
gonna talk
case-
again.
The first case, let me do this here. Thank you, Ms. Nelson. I think we're getting some feedback on your mic. Okay, let's see. The court is in session in two cases. The first case is cause number 331-798. Second case is cause number 331-800. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus, this is
It's Edis Romero.
Edis Romero.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Romero, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Romero, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Romero, you may put your hand down.
Thank you.
Mr. Romero, I have before me, well, Mr. Romero, you are represented here by your attorney, Mr. Charles Rojas, who's appearing via Zoom. Mr. Rojas, do you waive a record in Mr. Romero's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Romero, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about December 24th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Romero, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Romero, to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty?
Guilty.
Okay. And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Romero, I have, uh-oh. Okay, Mr. Romero, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments in cause number 331-798. And on page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials, ER, that are on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Mr. Romero, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this document, Mr. Romero, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, there's also a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Did you also sign this document?
Yes, I did.
And at the top of this same document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Romero, I also have a document here on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Romero, at the bottom of this document, above the line that is titled Defendant, there's a signature. Mr. Romero, did you also sign this document?
Yes, I did.
Now, Mr. Romero, before you signed and initialed these documents that I just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Rojas, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir, and he went over it very fine.
And did you understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir, I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the
Yes,
best?
sir, it is.
Mr. Romero, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, I am, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers both states 1 and 2.
He's just pleading guilty.
State
So,
offer, in that case, just states 1, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
no objection, State's Exhibit 1 is admitted. Mr. Rojas, you've advised in counsel, Mr. Romero, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Romero, the state, well, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, is advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, I am.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Wait, say that again? It kind of cut off.
Okay, has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Romero, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. We'll also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. We'll also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty in the resisting arrest case appearing in cause number 331-798, the state's recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 30 days. Additionally, we are agreeing to dismiss the companion case, the evading arrest case that appears in cause number 331-800. We're doing so pursuant to chapter 1245 of the Texas Penal Code.
Okay, is he being given credit for 30 days already served?
Your Honor, it's not necessarily the time served off. The state's not opposed to him getting any credit that he's entitled to by law, though.
Okay, I think they filled out the paper. Well, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Yeah, the box said 30 days credit. I don't know where that came from.
Judge, Mr. Romero has more than enough times credit. We can do credit for time served or not, but he's got more than enough time served on this case.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, what you're saying is the judgment, we can leave the judgment blank in the.
Yeah, Judge, the states did not contemplate a quote unquote time served offer. Certainly if the 30-day judgment ends up resulting in time served, then that's, we're certainly not opposed to that.
Okay, does that change anything, Mr. Rojas?
No, Judge.
Do we still have an agreement or do we not have a plea bargain agreement? That's my
We do,
question.
Judge. As I said, he's got plenty of time. He's got the 30 days served already.
Okay,
So,
okay, now let me do this. Mr. I'm gonna strike that. We're gonna have to change that. Okay. Now, Mr. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that, and that's two. Okay, Mr. Romero,
Yes, sir.
the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. And the court cost in this case, Mr. Romero, is $327. Mr. Romero, will you be able to pay the $327?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Romero, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, I do.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Mr. Romero, the state will also be dismissing cause number 331800. Mr. Romero, that's part of the plea bargain agreement. You understand that agreement?
Yes, I do.
And you think this agreement is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the agreement?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Romero, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Mr. Romero, this will conclude your case. You can knock on that door and follow the building. And Mr. Rojas, this is your last case, is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Rojas, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge. You as well.
Okay. Right? Do we have right? Okay, the next person is Gary Wright.
Gary Wright.
Oh. Wait up.
Your Honor, if I may, before we get going, I see Ms. Provo is there. There's one thing that Ms. Provo and I did not discuss. I thought
Okay,
it was.
let me
I
do
thought-
this here. I
Yes,
can,
sir.